Something we haven't watched on the channel yet. Figured we'd do it now. We got Junior Dos Santos versus Frabricio Werdum in Bareknuckle MMA. I don't know what you guys think about Bareknuckle MMA. I'm curious though. I think it's alright. I don't know. I don't find it that much more exciting than just regular MMA. It doesn't like elevate it and make it such a better sport or downgrade it and make it a shittier sport. But let's see these old guys do their thing. We got a 39-year-old, a 46-year-old, both legends of the game. Junior Dos Santos, Frabricio Werdum, very similar sizes. Obviously, Werdum's a little bit older, but if you're getting into the heavier weight classes, it's not that big of a deal. But more or less, they're the same Brazilian with some different skin, maybe one with hair, one without. That's the biggest difference I'm seeing here. But we're going to watch the fight. I haven't seen it. Hopefully you guys haven't seen it. And let's check it out together. Okay, let's skip. Okay, we don't need to skip nothing. Just right to the fight. That's the best, isn't it? No waiting. Just jump right in. Yeah, Werdum. I feel like he's going to come out with that jumping sidekick that he has in a bunch of his other fights just to kind of make things exciting right off the bat. But I don't know. Maybe he's 46 and he can't. I'm going to play this out. Okay, he's very reserved to start. I like that it's actually exposed knuckle too, right? That's true to the bare knuckle roots, right? Not covering up the knuckle and just like fighting with a wrapped hand. Let's make it real. Just a real fist fight. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Let's do it today. Why not? Both guys look in great shape for their age and, you know, experience. They're not taking this fight off. They're not being lazy for it. Oh, kicked the leg out. He went down. Both guys are being really reserved. Low hands from Dos Santos. He seems pretty relaxed, though. He's known for having just amazing boxing. Right? That was his biggest strength when it came to fighting in the UFC. Was he had such great hands, so much power. Werdum, more of a jits guy, but just a well-rounded MMA fighter across the board. Both guys are. But I feel like the stand-up is going to go to Dos Santos here for the most part. Werdum keeps throwing that front kick up, which is a good idea against a boxer if they're leaning forward, a little bit chinny. But he just looks super slow on that entry. Good low kick. Both guys just look slow. Right? They look like they're 39 and 46. Middle-aged men fighting in supposedly the roughest sport in the world. Hey, we're watching it. We're here. Good jab. Yeah, you know what? Dos Santos' jab looks good. It's quick. Right from his hips to his face. No hesitation in between. Super snappy. Missed the low kick, but regained his stance right away. Yeah, you know what? Dos Santos isn't moving that bad. He's a little bit light. His hands look good. He hasn't really tried much in terms of kicking yet. Seems pretty nervous about the takedown from Werdum, I can only imagine. Like, if he overcommits on any shots, Verdum's going to try to take him down. And I feel like offensive, well, I don't know. I feel like the extremes of grappling are going to be shown because of the lack of glove. So what I mean by that is, like, it's going to be easier to escape stuff, but also easier to put submissions on. So if you can squeeze yourself into a rear naked choke, it's probably going to be easier without the glove on. But at the same time, if you are about to escape it, I don't know, maybe it would be easier. You know what I mean? It's easier to put it on, but it's also easier to take it off. I don't know. Oh, that same front kick up the middle again. He's got to set it up, though. It's not enough just to snap it out there and hope for the best, especially after throwing it like 3-4 times. But Dos Santos is just so reserved. Yeah, I think the goal is to work him into the fence and just keep him on the back foot. So staying just enough engaged that Werdum doesn't feel like he can put a lot of pressure on Dos Santos, and he's just forced back. It's making it harder for him to shoot, especially with Dos Santos just hanging out in that mid-range and being so reserved. All right, it makes it hard to do pretty much anything aside from like the odd kick or punch. I like that Werdum has the PFL shorts on too. Oh, entered in on the leg. Not bad. Right, put his chest pretty heavy on top of that leg and managed to get Dos Santos down to the mat, but couldn't maintain the control. Slid off pretty quickly. Yeah, I feel like all of the grappling's going to move a lot quicker without the glove. It's like when you take out the gi in jiu-jitsu. Like, no gi jiu-jitsu just moves so much quicker than gi jiu-jitsu. Alright, you're just removing one more layer in between you and your opponent. Oh, good overhand. Rocked him. 10 seconds left. Super clean shot to finish the round. Alright, that looked good. I like it. No break. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what they're saying in the corner if they had somebody that could actually translate Portuguese. Yeah, Werdum, I don't know. He seems very reserved, aside from that combo that we just saw. Like, he's quite nervous to get into any striking exchanges, aside from, like, the odd low kick. Like, all he wants to do is grapple, which is fair. Like, Dos Santos really does have the upper hand. But it's going to be so much harder to get into any grappling exchange if you can't earn the respect with your striking first. And it seems like Dos Santos really isn't worried about the striking. He's just trying to keep his hands low so he's ready for any of the takedowns. Some good footwork, just circling around the ring, giving him different looks. But that lead hand being so low, it's intentional, obviously. Right? Make it a lot harder for Werdum to enter in on any wrestling. Just shows how confident Dos Santos is in his striking against him. Again, that front kick up the middle, but it's slow, it's telegraphed, it's not working into anything. Good wheel kick again, but it's all telegraphed. There's no setup to any of Verdum's techniques, whether it's wrestling or the kicking, like anything he's doing. He's not using any feints, he's just throwing it out there and hoping. Dos Santos has a very clear strategy. He wants to stay in the boxing range, mid-range the entire time, use a lot of jabs, keep just enough pressure on Werdum so he's on the back foot, making it harder for him to shoot or be offensive in any way. Sorry. Yeah. He's looking quick with the hands. Again, like these lazy kicks from Werdum. Anyone with, you know, a fight's experience would see that kick coming. Again, right? We just seen how he used that low lead hand to stuff the takedown right away, just right on the back of Verdum's head. Forced him to Imanari roll, but Dos Santos is keeping just enough space, right? He's not overcommitting on anything. He's not moving further enough away to let Werdum feel comfortable. He's just keeping him in this mid-range and, right, keeping the pressure on just enough to keep him uncomfortable. And questioning what technique he should be trying next. What do you guys think about Bareknuckle MMA? I don't, like, so far, quick cut on Werdum, but I feel like that would have happened MMA glove or not. Junior's looking pretty cocky now. He's so comfortable with the striking, and Werdum just looks so uncomfortable. Like, he really only has one game plan. And I feel like Dos Santos has seen all of the strikes that Werdum can throw, which is basically just one-off front kicks to the head, a little bit of spazzy boxing while crashing forward. An axe kick. Like he should be blasting that low kick over and over again. I don't know why he's so afraid to throw the low kick. He's landed it enough. Yeah, hoof the leg. Beautiful. And that jab's coming so quick. Very nice check hook off the pressure. Again, like, I just love how Dos Santos is so good at this range. And finally Werdum got what he wanted. Right, worked him into the fence. Another beautiful single leg from the inside, at least pulling Dos Santos down to the mat, but it's not enough. I'm talking in Portuguese. See, fights like these between two legends, everybody always wants to see, especially if it's in like something new and different, like we don't know what to expect out of them. But for me, at this point in time, like, these guys are definitely just getting a paycheck. They don't care about getting a title or anything like that. I'm sure they have an ego about winning, but they're not going to do anything extra to try to win the fight. There's no real fire to make them want to do anything extra. Regardless, both guys are in good shape, and I can appreciate that much. Like, they don't look like shit like we've seen from a lot of those Bellator fights, where Rampage Jackson will come out with a gut that you've never seen on another MMA fighter other than Roy Nelson. Speaking of which, he just fought in this bare-knuckle MMA shit. I'm not pro bare-knuckle MMA. I'm not anti-bare-knuckle MMA. It's just another fight sport for me. And if anything, it's a gimmick. There's a gimmick for people who aren't as, I don't know, involved in the martial arts world or really care about the sports that much. They just like to see blood and, you know, two guys beating the shit out of each other. I do like the thought of, like, the grappling exchanges getting maybe a little bit quicker, more exciting. But it's not going to be with these two guys. This fight has like 1,000,001 views. 1,100,000 views. And right now I'm like, why? Why? Did people share this with their friends, or is this clearly all just, you know, people wanting to see what would happen between these two? Because I doubt, like, I wouldn't send this to my buddies, like, oh, you gotta watch this fight. You gotta see it. Junior really keeps his range and uses a jab. And Werdum pretty much threw an axe kick. Did he land? No, he didn't land a single kick other than, you know, a couple calf kicks, and he couldn't get a bit of grappling off. But my God, you got to watch this fight. I don't know. Am I being too pessimistic about this? This is just like an average MMA fight. I didn't really expect much more. I feel like my tone sort of said that from the start. You know, you're going to have a 39 and a 46-year-old fight, even though they used to be the best fighters on the planet, both of them. You can't really expect that much. But again, I appreciate that they're in great shape, and nothing but respect for them for fighting, continuing to fight. But there's more quality fights out there. That's undeniable. Yeah, Dos Santos has a great jab. It's quick. And I appreciate the Philly shell or low guard. This is like not really a Philly shell. It's kind of just like low brawling sort of lazy hands, but maybe not, lazy isn't the right word, but very relaxed guard. Because his hands are active the entire time. It's not like they're hanging at his sides. Like he's always ready to hit. Nice, good jab. Every jab counts a little bit more, though, that's for sure. I feel like the quicker it moves, the more likely it is to cut. Brutal looking. Yeah, beautiful 1-1-2. Finally. He took a risk. Like, what is there to say about this fight? Like, I feel bad for Werdum with that bad cut. But he's not doing himself any favors. Like, he's just standing there. Dos Santos did everything he needed to do to win. Which is a really simple strategy of just, like, dominating the mid-range with your boxing. Alright, he was doing well to either keep enough space so he could stuff all the takedowns, or, you know, evade any of the kicks that Werdum was throwing. But, yeah, I don't know. Werdum's getting a check, I think. That's about it. What do you guys think? You into this bare-knuckle MMA stuff? Like, we gotta watch another fight and see if there's anything better. There's gotta be something better. Oh. Thank you. Alright. How did you give 2 rounds to Werdum? Alright, well, that was fun enough to watch. You know, it was a good fight. For, you know, 2 guys in their pretty much 40s together. Yeah, I don't have that much more to say about it. Like, usually I go back and watch stuff back in slow motion. But the only thing would be interesting about that is just Junior's guard that he chose, which was so specific to somebody that was obviously going to be trying to grapple him and go for single legs. You just have your hand over that leg the entire time and just snap the jab in the face. Makes it really hard for Werdum to ever close that distance or grapple. But, you know, I've kind of beaten that thought to death. But that's all I can pretty much think about it. Anyways, well, we'll watch more of this stuff and kind of see what happens with it. Maybe some more exciting fights in the future from them. Bye!